Hello and welcome to Squabble, a noisy quarrel about something petty or trivial. I'm Carter.
And I'm Jacob. And you mixed up the intro a little bit.
I paused.
Yeah.
Dramatic pause.
You just didn't mess it up. You just changed up the rhythm, the flow.
Yeah. Dramatic pauses are
The future.
pertinent and, in any kind of performance. What you doing over there?
My dongle was left over on my computer. I didn't realize it.
Do not leave your dongle out, Anyway.
I left my dongle out.
Yeah, you did. Boys and girls of the Squabble of the world, we have a new video out on our YouTube channel. It is called Jacob Tries Snacks, and it is a video of Jacob trying snacks, as the video kind of says in the title.
And did you start the timer?
I did not start the timer. Gosh dang, wouldn't be the first time. But it's a hilarious video. It is hilarious.
Starring me and everyone's favorite intern Daniel.
Yeah, it's starring our intern Daniel. Oh, I wouldn't say starring, co-starring our intern Daniel,
Yeah.
Starring you.
I don't know. He's actually in it quite a bit.
He is. And then we're going to have, when this episode is released, we've also released another episode of Daniel making the omelet.
Chef Daniel the intern.
Right, making the snack for Jacob, which is an omelet, by the way, the snack is. And if you were subscribed to us on Patreon, you actually got to see that video a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So a lot of you have seen it. I wouldn't say a lot necessarily, but anyway, I'm just trying to say that, plug our Patreon, okay? You give us money, you get free stuff. And that money goes straight into Squabble to make it better. So it's a win-win for you. It's a win-win for me. It's a win-win for Jacob. It's a win-win for these microphones. It's a win-win for, the people who make these microphones.
It's really only a lose for people that don't like our show.
It's only a lose for haters of Squabble.
Yeah.
Yes, which we have.
We do?
I would say so.
I would say so too, actually.
Yeah, you had to think about it, but you would say so. Anyway, we have a spicy episode today. Jacob?
So spicy.
I know in the past you've argued that Bigfoot is real.
He is real. I still stand by that.
Well, I'm here to tell you that it is not Bigfoot that is roaming our world today in secret, but the abominable snowman.
The Yeti.
The Yeti, exactly.
Can you tell me what the difference between them is?
I can.
I do agree. I believe that Bigfoot is real. I do not believe in the Yeti. That's stupid. That's like all those snowy boys were like, oh, we want our own special thing. And so they came up with the Yeti.
Well, actually, plot twist, the Yeti was before Bigfoot. The earliest, let me scroll down in my notes here. The earliest recorded sightings of the Yeti were in 326 BC.
Oh.
Yeah. It's been a second. Okay.
How do we believe that if it was that long ago?
What do you mean, how do we believe that?
I wouldn't believe it.
Well, it's true. And the difference, they're very similar creatures from what people have explained.
Made up?
No, not true. Except the Yeti is, here, I have some notes about what he looks like. The Yeti is usually about 6 feet tall, weighing 300 pounds, around 300 pounds, with dark grayish or sometimes reddish brown hair.
They don't know what he weighs.
That's how people describe
They've just seen him.
Well, you can guess how much something weighs
He
by
could
seeing.
be like a bird and have hollow bones.
It's a possibility, but I mean, you can
fly.
kind of guess.
Can you imagine the Yeti just flapping his arms?
Doing a little flap. That's interesting.
Yikes.
Anyway, I will go ahead and a disclaimer. There's not despite the Yeti being around longer than Bigfoot, there is not as much evidence. Or actually, I take that back. I would say there's an equal amount of evidence. Right. There's not as many sightings. There's not as many eyewitness accounts, which makes sense because.
Oh, wait, I already have a little thing to say to you. You said there's just as much evidence for both, yet you believe the Yeti and don't believe in Bigfoot.
Right. And I have, if you, after I've said all my notes, you'll understand. And actually, I think we established in that episode that I do believe in Bigfoot now.
Oh, okay.
I am a Bigfoot believer.
Good. I'm glad.
Because I've seen Bigfoot myself.
In person.
I have. People always are like, think it's a joke, but I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I have seen Bigfoot. Me and my dad were driving in a car on a road, okay?
I don't know what else you'd be
behind
driving
the mall. behind the mall, and behind this Belks, there's this huge like grass field, okay, that never gets mowed, and I freaking saw Bigfoot walking
He's right out in the open, in between
Yes.
a mall and a suburban area.
exactly,
I don't know how it got
and
there.
Dad literally stopped the car in the middle of the road, and we both got out and took pictures. And there's a picture on my Instagram right now. Shout out at Carter the Epic.
Of Bigfoot, yeah.
Anyway, so yes, I do believe in Bigfoot. No, it was not a guy in a costume. And when like we got back in our car after taking a few pictures, and then we were gonna drive into that parking lot right there and see where he went, or like and follow him, he was gone.
Because Bigfoot can run at
He-
like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, like as soon as we turned the corner, he booked it. I guess it was crazy. It was genuinely weird. Anyway,
He probably went inside.
no, dude, there was no way. Even if I was out there, I couldn't run fast enough to get out of the sight of us because it was like a big open field. There was nowhere he could have gone.
He could've gone in
Although
the
now
Belks.
that I'm thinking about it, he could have just flat out laid down in the tall grass. We probably wouldn't have seen
True. Bigfoot was just lounging.
him. He just face
He
planted.
was doing the Lionel Richie pose in the grass.
You're right. He might have been. But anyway, here's an introduction to the Yeti. Okay, I've wrote a bunch. The Yeti, once better known as the Abominable Snowman, is a mysterious how do you pronounce that?
Where? Bipedal? Bipedal? I'll look it up.
We're idiots. Anyway, he's said to live in the mountains of Asia. It sometimes leaves tracks in the snow, but it also is said to dwell below the Himalayan snow line. Despite dozens of expeditions into the remote mountain regions of Russia, China, and Nepal, the existence of the Yeti remains unproven until now. Bipedal. Yeah.
Bipedal.
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 Anyway, in 1921, a group of British explorers traveled to Mount Everest and claimed to have seen very large footprints very high on the mountain. The explorers' guides said the footprints were metogangami, or I'm pronouncing that right, definitely, essentially meaning man-bear snowman. Their journalists got the snowman part right, but mistranslated Mito as filthy, which eventually became abominable. Sorry, I can't read. So that's how he became the abominable snowman. That's how the name, came to be. Little lore of the Yeti. Okay. So I think I should start with the most convincing evidence of the Yeti, and you can tell me where we go from there. Okay.
First of all, them claiming to have seen the footprints is not. I've seen the picture of like the first guy that saw like the first Bigfoot.
Yeah, that was them.
Footprint.
Yeah.
That was them.
That was them.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It didn't look like a. It didn't look like a foot. It could have just been like a few boulders that had like happened to fall.
Well, no. There's
like it
there's
wasn't that convincing.
that's like one picture. There's plenty of footprint pictures. Okay.
Let me look it up while you keep talking.
Yeah, and you're not typing anything. Also,
I noticed.
speaking of that footprint, I'll go ahead and skip down to a section in my notes titled "Famous People Who Believe in the Yeti," and one of them is Disney.
Walt Disney?
No, not Walt Disney himself. The actual Disney company believes in the Yeti.
I mean, look at that. That doesn't look like a foot.
Listen to this though. In 2007, Josh Gates, he's a TV show guy. He found the Yeti tracks and brought them back, and they are currently displayed at Disney World right now.
What?
Yeah. Crazy,
Weird.
right? Literally, the Disney company believes in Bigfoot.
I mean, look at this so-called footprint. That doesn't look like a footprint either.
How in the world does that not look like a footprint?
It's not. It has no arch.
Dude, what do you think that is then?
Like that could be anything.
Anyway, let me start with the first piece of evidence, okay? Forget the footprints for now. Look, that one looks definitely like a footprint.
Okay, but that one's too fake.
Whatever. Anyway, here's the first piece of evidence. The first man to ever scale Mount Everest. This is the first guy to ever scale Mount Everest, dude. This guy went down in history, Sir Edmund Hillary. Anyway, he scaled it in 1960, and you know what he found?
What?
The Yeti's scalp.
Oh, is there pictures?
Yes, there are pictures. I will post them on our Instagram at Squabble Podcast.
Can I see?
Shout out. Yeah, here's the pics. This is the Yeti scalp. Okay.
I'll look that up too because I want a closer look. I don't believe that.
Yeah. And not only did he find the Yeti scalp, yeah, look at
That's
that.
the Yeti scalp?
That is the Yeti scalp.
That
Look
could
at
be
that
just
nasty
anything.
thing. What do you mean? It's a hairy scalp, dude.
It's just a hairy
Scalp.
This is a scalp.
What do you mean it doesn't look like a scalp? That is a scalp.
That
my
looks like
man.
that bear.
No,
That could very well be a bear, and you know it.
absolutely not.
Also, what? The Yeti just got straight up scalped? What? How does that work?
Yeah, he did. He got
Who
scalped.
has something against the Yeti?
Everybody. Everyone's trying to catch him. He said, "What a run!"
So someone just scalped him and straight up left it on the ground?
Yeah, dude. Anyway, do you want another piece of another? You know what? His body parts are falling all kinds of places because they also found a finger, his finger.
Oh, gross.
A very large finger.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's a finger. Was discovered near a monastery in Nepal.
A nipple?
Yeah, and even through DNA analysis, it's impossible to tell what kind of creature it belongs to. Yeah, go to those images. Look at that nasty finger.
This is it?
Yeah. That's a finger right
Are
there.
you sure that's a finger?
Yeah, dude, that is a finger. Look, it's got a fingernail.
Yeah, but it's got no
Post
joints.
that on our Instagram too, so y'all can
It's
see.
got no joints.
Anyway, so like the reason why, like you might, there's not a lot of testimonials, unfortunately, and that's because the Yeti lives in Mount Everest, which not a lot of people go to, also, by the way. But so Mount Everest is 29,028 feet tall. But the Yeti is said to roam between 15,000 to 20,000 feet. That's
So he's
like
a big
9,000 feet less than the top of the mountain. So like obviously not a lot of people are going to be spotting this guy, you know.
Yeah, not very many.
That's why it that's what differentiates it from Bigfoot is because like there's not going to be a lot of sightings for a bear man that lives, you know, at the top of Mount Everest. Nobody's just chilling over there. Except there is one testimonial that I found that was very reasonable. So here's what it is. These two hikers reported this in 1942.
Yes.
Quote, the height was not much less than 8 feet. The head was described as squarish, and the ears must lie close to the skull because there was no projection from the silhouette against the snow. The shoulders sloped sharply down to a powerful chest, covered by reddish-brown hair, which formed a close body fur mixed with long straight
the Yeti
hairs
supposed to be
hanging
white?
downward. Well, similar to the polar bear, if anyone didn't know, actually, the polar bear's fur is actually, or hair, I think it's hair, is actually clear.
Yeah.
Did you know that? But the reason they look white is because they're covered in snow, and that's it. So
Yeah.
like, the Yeti definitely, even though he has reddish brown hair, it is going to look pretty white. Anyway, another person saw a creature, quote, about the size and build of a small man, the head covered with long hair, but the face and chest not very hairy at all. Reddish brown hair in color, it was busy grubbing up roots and occasionally emitted a loud, high-pitched cry. Ooh, that was good for them headphone users out there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and this I just looked up that the Yeti doesn't exist. It says, let's see, a 2014 genetic analysis of 30 hair samples from anomalous primates believed to be Yetis came from a variety of better-known animals like a Paleolithic polar bear and other bears and dogs. One sample was believed to be from a hybrid bear, so there's like, a little bit of hope, but then that idea came under question.
I actually have that here too in more detail. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Let me scroll up in here. Yes, I got my information from livescience.com. See, your thing said that idea, that hybrid bear was an idea that came under question, quote unquote. Well, let me read my quote from livescience.com. Okay. In 2013, Oxford
I don't think it's the same one. Mine's from 2014.
2013, 2014. It probably took a year for them to...
Maybe, yeah.
Well, maybe it's different, but it seems similar. I'll just read mine and you can tell me what you think. Okay. In 2013, Oxford geneticist Brian Sykes put out a call to all Yeti believers and institutions around the world claiming to have a piece of Yeti hair, teeth, or tissue taken from sightings. He received 57 samples, 36 of which were chosen for DNA testing. These samples were then compared with the genomes of other animals stored on a database of all published DNA sequences. Most of the samples turned out to be from well-known animals such as cows, horses, and bears. However, Sykes found that 2 of the samples, one from Bhutan and the other from India, were a 100% match for the jawbone of an extinct, rare subspecies of Himalayan bear that lived sometime between 40,000 and 120,000 years ago.
Okay, so it's a bear.
An
First extinct bear.
An extinct, rare subspecies of Himalayan bear. How does one in 2013 find a tooth from a extinct, rare subspecies
Because
of
it's not
Himalayan
actually extinct.
bear?
That doesn't make it
Probably because
Yeti.
there's a man out there with bear teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. False.
Yes.
What? Do you hear what he's saying, fellas out there listening?
That's what he is. He's a part bear man.
Okay, no.
Yes.
It just means that the bear is not actually extinct.
Well, absolutely not. That's the dumbest thing ever.
What is it? So you're saying it's dumber to believe that the DNA from the animal that matched with is not actually that animal, but a different animal that happens to share the same DNA because it has teeth of the
Whatever
same
you
animal?
just said didn't make sense, but I believe the Yeti is real. Let me get some more fat evidence for you here, okay? Because, you mean actually? Let me give you some more history because I like this. I like the history of the Yeti.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Did you know that Alexander the Great believed in the Yeti?
Oh, he did.
Yes, and
He's dead. See how that worked out for him.
we're all dead. Sometime in our lives, we're dead.
Eventually.
Okay, so Alexander the Great. How can you not trust this man? He conquered like.
I don't know. I don't know much about. I mean, I know much about his accomplishments. I don't know much about him as a person.
Like, listen to this. Alexander the Great conquered the Indus Valley for the sole reason of seeing a Yeti. Mm-hmm. Locals told him that the Yeti could not survive at that low an altitude. You know what he did?
So he was an idiot. What?
He killed them because they wouldn't bring him a Yeti.
So he was insane.
He sent his own men to find the Yeti,
And they couldn't?
Many of them died in the cold weather.
So what you're saying is he was an idiot.
Absolutely
Second
not.
of all,
He was a genius.
No, he went there.
He was a
He went
hunter.
there. They're like, listen, there's no way you're gonna find a Yeti here. And he was like, what? So he killed them because they couldn't bring him a Yeti when they said it's
No,
literally
they
possible.
believed it,
And
though.
then he sent out his people, which never found. They didn't succeed. They never found a Yeti,
Well,
and they
died.
just straight up died.
Well, he didn't anticipate the cold weather.
He is an idiot.
No, he does not.
They just-
Okay, fine. Do you think the entire Nepal government is an idiot?
Some of them probably.
Okay, because the entire Nepal government in 1950 they issued Yeti hunting licenses.
What?
This was in 1950. This wasn't that long ago. Each license to get your license it costs around $500.
Okay, I'm interested.
A literal
Not that I would ever
Yeti
find one.
hunting license. I'm not making this stuff up.
That would be cool to have, even though he's not real. The Yeti.
The actual Nepal government.
Okay, so is there one Yeti or multiple Yetis? Is this like a Bigfoot situation or like a?
There's speculation. So So the main theory actually now is that sightings back in the day, back in like the 1960s,
Yeah.
1940s, 1960s, that kind of era is when like it kind of blew up, and the quote unquote sightings were kind of being addressed. The main theory that scientists have or speculators have is that because the evidence is a lot of the evidence is actually kind of irrefutable, but the theory is that these Yetis that they were seeing were actually either indigenous people living in the mountains, okay,
Oh.
that just hadn't come down and lived as civilization. They've just been living up there their whole lives and
Okay.
surviving in the cold, and wearing large fur coats, mostly made out of bear skin. They would hunt bears and then wear the bears, which makes sense. And then the second theory, not as doesn't have as much weight to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I just yawned because you couldn't tell.
ouch.
You just disproved your own theory.
No, I'm just saying these are theories
Okay.
that I can disprove with facts and logic. Here in my notes. Okay, the other theory is that these are simpletons. These are cavemen who just haven't lived and haven't become us yet. Haven't evolved.
Yes.
Unevolved humans. How about that? And that are living up there still in the
So
high reaches of Mount Everest.
So you're either saying that. So you're just saying that there's some humans that were just too stupid to evolve, so they're still half monkey, or that there were a bunch of people that were living up there with bear coats.
Well, that's their theories. My theory is that they're Yetis. Okay.
You didn't answer my question though. If there were multiple Yetis or just one.
Well, I'm saying it's no one's 100% sure because no one's actually captured a Yeti.
No.
Yet, or captured the Yeti.
Well, they have licenses too.
But I would say that there's only one Yeti, and I would say that there are multiples, and I would argue that Bigfoot and the Yeti are from the same species, and that they're just subspecies of another or a different kind. So that's what I would argue, and that's why polar bears versus grizzly bears type thing. They're both
Bears, but
they're both Yetis, I guess, or they're both Bigfoots. Okay, they're just different. You know what I mean?
Okay, I understand. Okay. They're both Sasquatches, I think is the general term.
Yes, thank you, Sasquatch. Did you know that the Asian country Bhutan also agrees that Bigfoot is real, or that Bigfoot and the Yeti are real?
Okay, they also believe lots of things.
They literally to this day have an official national park dedicated to preserving the Yeti. I'm not at all kidding.
Ooh.
And they won't let people go on it.
Then why is it a national park? For the Yetis to enjoy.
Exactly.
It's like
exactly.
Yeti vacation.
It's like blocked off. It's like this is Yeti territory. It's called the Sok Teng Wildlife Sanctuary.
Sok Teng?
Sok Teng. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering
I would
it,
like to visit. Maybe we can do that for an episode.
You know what?
Because I don't believe it still. You've not swayed
the
me.
Craziest one, though, so far, the craziest thing that I haven't told you yet is the actual Russian government believes that the Yeti exists.
Oh, the Russians believe it? I might believe now, too.
Yeah, thank you. This is the most convincing piece of evidence.
The Russians were the first to the moon.
Yeah. Well, no. The Russians were not the first. The Russians owned the moon.
We made it to the moon, put our flag in, then they went up
and
there
then the
later,
Russians
took
went
out
up
our
there
flag
just
and stuck
afterwards.
theirs.
Exactly. So they were on the moon. But this was not even this was 2011. That the Russians believed in the Yeti.
Okay.
This
so
is
not
very
that,
recently.
Yes.
The Russians believed in the Yeti. In 2011, they organized a conference of Bigfoot and Yeti experts just to conduct a study.
And what were the results?
I'm not sure. They just to study it.
Listen, I believe Bigfoot. I believe he's out there roaming the U.S. and other Canada, maybe. But
how's he cross the border?
He has a passport.
He does have a passport.
Yeah. He just asks nicely. It's Canada.
There
could be some in Mexico too.
But then they're like, I gotta tell somebody. He's like, hey, will you not tell anybody about me?
Yeah,
they're
like sure.
Oh, I guess. the Canadians.
Bigfoot can't speak English, but Yeti is too far fetched. You're expecting me to believe that he lives in those snow?
It's way more likely for the Yeti to exist than Bigfoot.
No, been more Bigfoot sightings.
Exactly. There's how is it that Bigfoot literally walks around where normal humans walk around, and yet no one's ever actually taken a good photo of him, nor have we captured him,
I
nor
can show
have
you
we.
plenty of good pictures of Bigfoot.
Okay, but look at this. A Yeti who lives 9,000 feet from the top of Mount Everest. Now that's reason to believe that no one's actually gotten a good photo of him, captured him, seen him very often, because he lives freaking on Mount Everest. Nobody goes to Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nobody goes deep into the woods in some places.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Look, what do you call this?
That's a man in a mask, you doofus.
What about this?
The episode is not Bigfoot versus the Yeti, okay? This is the Yeti real?
We can all agree Bigfoot's cooler, though. Look at that.
Bigfoot is not cooler.
Whoa. Yes, he is, dude.
I wouldn't say he's... Dude, the Yeti's way cooler.
Bigfoot is the brand ambassador of beef jerky.
That means nothing.
That's so cool.
I guess that's cool, but it's not as cool as the
again.
Yeti who walks Mount Everest like it's nothing. That's cool, dude.
Look at this drawing of Bigfoot. Look at him.
That looks like some Bigfoot
fan art,
fanfic, and that's nasty.
Yikes.
Okay, here's some more evidence. Okay.
Okay, fine.
So there were these guys who were searching Nepal. They were just traveling, and they found these nests. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And these huge nests were discovered in and around where the Yeti is expected to roam. Mm-hmm. And what they were these huge trees, okay, that were bent and then twisted and tied around other trees.
There's Bigfoot's done stuff like that too.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. To create like this
Nest type
yeah,
thing.
like this bed kind of above the ground. And the
Because
reason
Bigfoot's smart. Yeti is apparently too, if he exists.
yes, Yeti is smart. Basically, the reason why they think it's Bigfoot is because there's no way that
think
a
it's
human
Bigfoot?
would be able to do what the trees were doing.
Mm-hmm.
They were like literally wrapped around each other. Like there's no way that a regular human would have the strength or the height to like get these trees
about
the way
5
they
humans?
should be. I mean, I guess probably it could have been, but there were like a bunch of them,
Well, yeah, Bigfoot does stuff like that. But
and they were obviously lived in. So boom.
Sorry, I yawned. Yeah, Yeti puts you to sleep. Listen, Yeti, it's for children, okay? Yeti doesn't have a TV show about him. Yeti gets his quote unquote what is the word I'm looking for? Evidence put up in Disneyland. He gets a Disney World.
what is-
sorry.
that's a good
He gets
thing.
he gets a ride made after him in Disney World. He gets mocked. He gets made fun of.
There's not a ride.
He gets scalped.
I will
he's
go ahead and
fake.
say that I do believe that the Yeti is dead.
There's no more Yetis.
I think
they're
he's
done?
dead right now. Because
I'd believe it.
and I think he died somewhere around the 1960s when his scalp was found.
Yeah,
That's
that was
just
the end of
clean
him.
evidence, you know. that he was
Yeah,
probably
that's
dead.
got it true.
So,
What about? Do you think Bigfoot's dead?
well, can we take a moment to a moment of silence for the Yeti being dead? That's enough.
Okay.
Anyway,
Who would win in a fight, Yeti or Bigfoot?
the Yeti would definitely win in a fight.
Bigfoot would win.
It's it's an easy win for the Yeti. The
No.
Yeti survives in way harsher climates than Bigfoot.
Yes, but Bigfoot's bigger.
That's
it's
not
in his
true.
name, big.
Whatever. Okay. I think that's all we have for today. That's all.
You know what we
evidence.
should have done? We should have done Yeti versus Bigfoot as an episode.
That's another episode.
Oh, we could stretch this into a trilogy of
Who
episodes.
would win? Yeti or Bigfoot?
Okay, I'm down for that.
I'm down for that. And it depends on where they're fighting. Because if they're fighting in snow, Yeti wins every
But
time.
if they're fighting in the woods, it's too warm for your.
It is true. Remember that's what the locals said to Alexander the Great.
They were like, "It's too hot down here. You won't live here. You won't go there."
Exactly. And then Alexander the Great was like,
So they'd have to be in like a temperate, like a very some nice in between,
yeah, like
where it's not too cold for Bigfoot, but it's not too warm for Yeti.
like the Alaskan woods.
Yeah, like the woods and like it's chilly, but like it's not like free. Not like, yeah.
Sure, I see it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Don't forget YouTube. Jacob tries snacks.
What? And then Daniel the intern makes
Yes,
an
and
omelet.
then I think we're calling it Daniel's Kitchen.
Oh, I
That's
like
the
it.
next episode, so check that out as well. Should already be out by now by the time this episode's out. We have a lot of good stuff in the works right now. First of
Yes.
all, go check out our Discord. I think by the time this episode is out, the Discord link will be in the description of our probably on Facebook and probably on Instagram. So that's at Squabble Podcast. Go join our
what?
Discord. We got cool stuff over there.
Yes.
Our Patreon link in the description below. Discord link will be in the description below as well. Exclusive stuff on there. Videos that only you can see. Things like that. So go check it out. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Again, at
Yes.
Squabble Podcast. You can listen to us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify.
And our website, squablepodcast.com.
Yeah, and I will leave you before we snap you later. I'm going to leave you with this. There might be another podcast, a branch of Squabble starting soon.
Whoa.
It may or may not be in the works. And on that note, I think we'll snap you later.
But one more thing. I lost the game.
I lost the game.
I lost the game too. We'll snap you later.
We'll snap you later.